If you're a true Liverpool fan, subscribe to Anfield Signal. Liverpool news: Reds are front-runners for Anthony Gordon as star rejects new deal. Liverpool news roundup as speculation linking Anthony Gordon with a return to Merseyside resurfaces. Following a tame title defense, Liverpool are already hatching plans behind the scenes ahead of next season. With the FA Cup taking precedence this weekend, the Reds sit a disappointing sixth in the table ahead of the return to Premier League action at relegation-threatened Nottingham Forest next weekend. That is despite spending a colossal £450 million last summer. As a result, head coach Arne Slot and sporting director Richard Hughes are under pressure to turn things around, at least when it comes to the bread and butter of league action. Hopes of this campaign being anything other than a huge failure now rest on finishing in the top 4 or 5 and winning silverware. Here's the latest news from Anfield. Liverpool are reportedly in pole position to sign Anthony Gordon if Newcastle decide to cash in on the former Everton star this summer. Gordon, who could cost close to £100 million, is also on the radar of both Arsenal and Manchester City. But, according to Caught Offside, his association with Merseyside means the Reds are his preferred option. Given tensions within the club stemming from the Alexander Isak saga, it has been suggested that the Magpies could play hardball again. In the summer of 2024, Liverpool agreed a deal to sign Gordon to help Newcastle comply with profit and sustainability rules. However, after the Northeast side offloaded Elliot Anderson and Yankuba Minteh, they no longer needed to sell Gordon and pulled the plug. If Liverpool decide to splash the cash on Gordon, money could be saved in other areas by looking to the free agent market. That market is set to include Turkish defender Zeki Çelik, who has rejected a bumper contract offer from Roma, reports Tuttosport. That decision has paved the way for a free transfer exit in the summer, when he could have the pick of several clubs, including Liverpool, AC Milan, and Juventus, who have also been linked with the 28-year-old right-back. Çelik was previously linked with Arsenal, Manchester United and Tottenham during his time at Lille. Following the club's failure to strengthen at full-back in January, it is an area of the pitch that needs addressing. Çelik comes with the added bonus of being able to operate in the heart of defense as well. Arne Slot praises special Mohamed Salah performance as Liverpool star nets versus Brighton. The Liverpool winger was on target as the Reds progressed to the fifth round of the FA Cup, and put in an all-round excellent display that also included an assist and winning a penalty. Arne Slot praised Mohamed Salah's performance as he found the back of the net in Liverpool's FA Cup triumph over Brighton and Hove Albion on Saturday. The Reds booked their place in the fifth round courtesy of a 3-0 victory at Anfield, with Curtis Jones, Dominic Szoboszlai and Salah on target. For the latter, this was his first goal in domestic competitions since November 1st, while for only the third time in his Liverpool career, Salah managed to score, provide an assist and win a penalty in the same game. But Slot was also pleased with the winger's work out of possession, with his more team-orientated display in stark contrast to his performances before the Africa Cup of Nations pause. He not only had a goal, he also had an assist with his right foot, Slot told TNT Sports after the game. So that's probably even special for him, I'm not sure, but the next step is scoring with his right. Maybe he did this a lot as well, I don't know. I think it's nice to see him on the scoreboard again, but he's been also influential in his assist in the last few games, added the Liverpool head coach. What I see, what has been a very positive and help for the team is that he also does a lot off the ball. And that's what he did against Manchester City. That's what we did against Sunderland. And that is what he ended tonight. Asked for his verdict on the game, Slot replied, "What impressed me most, I think maybe the goals, especially the second one, was fantastic. The margins were maybe smaller than the 3-0 looks like because at 1-0 just before halftime they got a big chance, but that felt good for us, or I should say great save from Ali, Alisson. Second half, 2 good goals and in the end it feels like a comfortable win, but I think it was closer than the final score on the show." The win capped a good week for Liverpool, with the Reds' chances of collecting silverware improved, while they also closed the gap on the Champions League places after a 1-0 Premier League victory over Sunderland on Wednesday. Coming toward the end of what has been a challenging campaign, Slot said he can see clear progression from his side. "I think it's fair for me to say that this team has made a proper development throughout the last few months. It has happened quite a lot of times to us that 3 days or 2 days after a game we struggled to bring the same intensity, but that is now of a far better level for us. Players have adjusted, the team is playing better and better because we are fitter and fitter, and let's see where that will lead to. But as I said, the margins are small. But now the margins are small. In the beginning of the season, it didn't always feel like this. It didn't always feel that we were completely ready to compete in terms of intensity after 3 days. We kept on playing the same players that were not all adjusted yet. But now they are, and now you can see. Arne Slot drops worrying Curtis Jones transfer hint. Liverpool could do without the distraction that Curtis Jones' contract situation is currently bringing. The 25-year-old, who is out of contract in 2027, was approached by both Tottenham and Inter Milan in the winter transfer window. Ultimately, Liverpool decided no deal would be done for Jones. There are various accounts as to why the Premier League champions turned down the approaches. Trusted club insiders on the Merseyside patch maintain that the Reds were not looking to weaken the squad in January and, in fact, would have been willing to sign players if the right deal was there. In Italy, however, they tell a different story, that Jones was available on a loan-to-buy basis only if he agreed to pen a Liverpool contract extension. Doing so would have kept the creative midfielder's contract value high, otherwise he would be returning after a 6-month loan spell with only a year on his contract. No deal was done, no contract was signed, and that means Jones is heading towards the end of this season shrouded in uncertainty. A report in the Liverpool Echo now claims that suitors in January were encouraged by Jones' camp to make a bid in order to capitalize on the contract chaos. The contact itself hints at some gentle encouragement behind the scenes from a player who was hurtling towards the final year of his deal on Merseyside, the report reads. And there is reason to believe that unless Jones signs a new deal soon, then Richard Hughes will make plans to sell him in summer 2026. Arne Slot addressed the press ahead of this weekend's FA Cup tie against Brighton, admitting that clubs were well entitled to take advantage of Liverpool's model when it comes to players with expiring contracts. I think it is perfectly normal that very good football players are in the interest of big clubs, like us, trying to extend with him and clubs wanting to sign him, he is reported to have said. And if you go to the end of your contract, I think it is also normal that other big clubs think, maybe there's a deal to be done. Because, and I am saying this every time I am standing here lately, you know our model. Other clubs know our model as well, so other clubs might think, okay, there is no use calling them because they don't sell, we have a different model. So that could be the reason why there has been some links with other clubs. That model saw Luis Diaz and Kevin Kelleher, among others, sold last summer when the countdown started on their Liverpool contracts. And just because he is a homegrown favorite, don't expect Jones' treatment to be any different. He has been unable to force his way into Slot's starting 11, particularly for the big matches this season. Jones has been handed bench roles against the likes of Real Madrid, Arsenal, Manchester City, Man United, and Chelsea. It's easy to understand why the England man might be growing frustrated at his current situation. And the best solution for all involved may be a parting of the ways in summer.